Good evening. Guten Abend. This will be the second video covering this incredible 15th, I believe. 15th chapter, epistle of marvelous, sensational book of St. Genesis out of the Apocrypha. It's I believe we're numbering this 16 Bravo. Before I begin, I was out there evangelizing to the mountain creatures a couple hours back, and discussing the Ten Commandments, and was explaining how the three on one tablet were for God, and then the rest were on the other tablet amongst mankind, pretty much. And I was sharing with them that the three for he which is are the easiest to follow. And if you think about it, they're also the easiest to break. See, Elohim isn't here with us with this direct supervision as we were all together at one time in the Garden of Eden. But with the separation of heaven and terra, he's here. But he lets us operate on our own free will because of the tree analogy if we decide to play. Think about that. Why don't you open up the best translation Bible, the primary language you understand. Go to Exodus. Go ahead and read those 10 marvelous commandments out of Exodus from the hand of Elohim and Moses themselves. And see what you think about that same conclusion I share with you. Till then, we're going to carry on with this Judith that we left off, with her being praised by her fellow villagers, and they're bringing up all these goods for her. And so we continue, because thou hast done manfully. Again, because thou hast done manfully to a woman, and thy heart was strengthened, for that thou had loved chastity, and after thy husband not known any other. Therefore also the hand of our Lord hath strengthened thee, and therefore shalt thou be blessed forever. And all the people said, so be it. So be it. Chastity. Finally, something of incredible words being shared by the high priest, as well as the writer of this Ioachim, when he explains her chastity, of holding that as her primary essence, her and her husband. As I explained before, it is my firm belief, being her as a pre-harbinger of the Blessed Virgin. St. Judith was a virgin when she died. See, her and her husband were both very religious people, very bright people as well. They were planning their family, and they had not yet reached that stage. So she was just learning his operations, the land, in the past couple of years when he passed away. But they were getting ready to explore that option of expanding the family for the sake of both their families when he passed. So it is of my greatest opinion that this chaste woman was indeed a virgin woman as well. 30 days were scarce sufficient for the people of Israel to gather up all those spoils that these Assyrian warlords left. Moreover, all the things that were proved to be the peculiar goods of Holofernes. Remember that tent? I explained that he led her to his incredible trophy tent. That's where she stayed. Well, yeah, they went through that marvelous trophy tent. This is what they brought back. And they gave every single piece to Judith. They brought back gold, silver, garments, precious stones, all the stuff and all the things were delivered her of the people. And all the people rejoiced with women and virgins, he writes, and young men on instruments and harps. Yes, yes, yes. The first musicians, which you'll learn with me as you explore the children of Israel out of Moses, David. The men became the initial primary rejoicing singers, especially the boys, men and boys. And there was a particular bloodline that was chosen for this as well. It was very special to be a part of the vocals. And King David, who had such a beautiful, exquisite voice himself, loved music. This is why he co-joined music in the praise of our Lord, the psalms and the music that he wrote. Off tangent. Let's finish this up. These instruments. I said young men are instruments and harps. Call this? So it's interesting that the musical instruments of innocence were chosen perfectly to play for virgins. Again, St. Ioachim, the same high priest, as I just said, who's serving Israel during this time, he inserts this specific messaging, I humbly surmise. And the entire contents secured inside the tent of General Holofernes is given to Judith. Okay, the Judith household has this, most like this lengthy convoy with precious plates, luxurious beds, these stellar vessels, and anything else. Of course, it was all stolen from all the communities that the Assyrian army has conquered, exposed to the war. After paying off the army, the rest of these Jews come to the Holofernes tent because guess where these treasures go? To King Nebuchadnezzar. The more treasures, troves, jewels and land that he can bring back to his king that he so loyally serves and loves, the better rewards there are going to be for him when he does come back to his king. Even before this Judith convoy reaches the gates of Bethulia, girls and women of Israel greet and bless Judith. She was at that gate. Girls rejoiced, danced joyfully in front of her, tossed palm branches before her feet. Using garland jewelry, women gratefully adorned the necks of Judith as well as her emperor. Look at her emperor. She was there with her. She went out of the gates of protection of heaven and walked through purgatory and met with the devil in hell with Judith as well, her loyal emperor. So with song and dance, the women and the girls proudly escort Judith and this wagon train of riches through the center of Bethulia, as Bethulians crowd the street to celebrate with and guide this mobile parade, this celebration of 30 days. See how special this was for them? Because it was an exquisite moment, a month of rejoicing of women, for women, even by women. I bet all the women throughout Judea were treated like queens after what Judith did. A whole new mental outlook from the ancients at least. Not sure about the rest of the men throughout Israel, but at least the ancients. It struck them. It certainly did with Ioachim, as he writes about it. He writes about a marvelous. It's kind of like an autobiography for him, like Moses was. But instead of writing about himself, he writes it about Judith. So women, ladies, look, in America, this time of extraordinary misleading. I am telling you here, my solemn oath, that what you are hearing is stuffed by man, and only man. None of this is God made, God incipient. It's not. And this story of Judith proves and validates why women are so special, why women are important, why women back then didn't try to assume the roles of the men because they had enough to do. Do you think maybe the men were sweating their brows and working constantly? Well, so were the women. They not in sweat, but they were constantly busy raising the kids, embroidering, patching up clothes, feeding, nursing, and supporting the priestly functions of her husband as well. Women, be who you are, accept who you are, love who you are. Join the woman race, the true woman race, from the womb of man, created by your ever-loving Father. Come on. Join the rest of us. Welcome aboard. Till we meet again, we will go into the final chapter of this sensational woman known as Saint Judith. Until then, Pax Vobis, best wishes.